Doing the show makes me so happy, really.
That's cheered me up.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I'll get on with my work.
Please.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
All these announcements.
Program the computer. We create a mental atmosphere.
Fear not, my friends. This will be my greatest performance.
Give it to me.
Here we go. We came, we saw, we kicked it.
Oh, we kicked it good. It's Mornings on the Beach, signing on for another weekend here after our show that was out in public. We took a week off, but here we are again. My name is Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
And today on the show, why is it so hard to get a new stop sign or signal in Long Beach? Well, we're going to be talking to the man who knows from the Long Beach Post. Jacob Sisneros is with us.
And we've got a musical legend coming to the First Congregational Church here in Long Beach tonight. If you're listening on Saturday, we've got him and all of the people involved in this event. It's going to be a great event. So,
plus, we're going to talk to the founder of the Long Beach Food Coalition, who's going to be with us, Dr. Elissa Alvarez. We've got a full lineup on the show, but first, let's get to this. Is actually a follow-up on a story we did on the air here a couple weeks back. About traffic in Long Beach and all the deaths that had happened that were higher than expected. You did an article a while back about the traffic deaths in Long Beach rising as opposed to they want to get them down to zero. Well, they kind of went up a little higher last year. But some of the excuses that they give you in the planning department or with the people who manage the roadways, and we've been subject to this on First Street. If you're coming off of Alamitos, people just jam down that street, and near misses happen all the time. In fact, some did make contact. But we reached out to the city. They gave me the same excuse you put in print, which was, it's not feasible.
Yeah, I'm very
I want more information than just not feasible.
What's not feasible?
They're putting a traffic bump in the road. And so, Jacob, welcome back.
Thank you, Danny. You said I was the man who knows. I just want to clarify. I just talk to people who know stuff and then try to impart it to others. I don't know anything.
That's great. You do know about why it takes so long. Tell us, this article came out this week in the Long Beach Post. If you didn't see it, Jacob researched it, and I was very interested in what you had to say.
Thank you. I love articles like this because they're just so straightforward.
Yeah.
What's the process? Once they get a request for a traffic study, what happens then? I think a lot of people are in the dark about that. I was in the dark about it. Talked to a city traffic engineer who deals with it every day, and he was thankful. Please get this information out because we get this question nonstop from people.
Cool.
Basically, they send somebody out. They observe traffic. They have metrics that a road has to hit for a traffic calming measure. Before they even design anything or debate what could stop something, they have to go out and see what's happening. Basically, a road has to average 2,000 vehicles a day, see more than 26% of its drivers speeding, and have a crash within the last year. Those three metrics, if it hits all those three, then it's definitely getting something.
I'm laughing because it seems like every corner could have that possibility.
So there are exceptions too, because if, let's say, a street doesn't meet that 2,000 mark, but there's a lot of speeding, a lot of crashes, then they do other things. So I think the interesting part where I want to kind of explore next is how do they determine which I guess fits the problem. That's way above my pay grade, and I'm sure it will require more conversations with the city traffic engineer because honestly, he's doing great work. They're working through a backlog that was left before he even got the position in January 2023.
Wow!
So they're churning through it. They're evaluating stuff. So people have every right to be upset that it's not happening fast. And the city council even said it on last Tuesday. They're looking at outsourcing some of that work for quick build stuff. Crosswalks, stop signs are a little more hard. There's specific state rules for a stop sign. There has to be 5 crashes within a 12-month period.
I better get busy.
That can only be stopped by a stop sign.
So you answered some of the questions that I had about my speed bump on First by my house there.
That's good.
So obviously there's not been enough crashes, so we got to up that game. No, just kidding. But there's also no accounting for near misses. Obviously, there have been so many near misses, but I get it now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that they're doing, they're working hard, because a lot of the times when we talk to people who are complaining, they always say, "What are they doing down there?" Well, apparently they're working through a backlog.
The gears are turning.
But I was also surprised at how much it costs to put in a stoplight.
Oh, that was the one that drove me crazy because
Wow.
I just moved to Long Beach 2 years ago, but it's baffling how many left turn lights are yields in this city. There's not a green solid arrow, which I've just kind of been wondering that. Why, we have the small town feel. I like that. But it doesn't. It translates to the roads too. It feels like a small town where you're waiting for 2 cars to pass. But when you're sitting on Orange and there's a million cars passing, then you have to pick your spot to turn left.
Right. And if you go up north on Alamitos and you turn left on 3rd, I love how the left green arrow puts you right in the direction of traffic coming at you from up there. Who did that?
Yeah.
Give us a break there. It's a fun one. You got to whoa, here we go.
We got some weird shaped streets too. There's a lot of diagonals. Yeah.
Do an article on who's responsible for that. A lot of people ask, who did the one way? Why? Yeah, it was crazy. But like the cost of putting a traffic, wasn't it almost like $500,000?
He said one of the, building a street light is one of the most costly things they can do. They have a limited budget for that. Hopefully the speed cameras will help generate more revenue to pay for that. But putting a single traffic light, just a left turn solid arrow, costs more than $500,000 is what he told me. When you account for the work and going underground to make sure you're not disturbing utilities.
I had no idea.
Steel cost, just all the above.
I'm in the wrong business. I got to start installing streetlights.
Traffic light salesman.
This is an amazing, facts in this article. There's a lot of facts about this, and I thought the other day, boy, Jacob on the spot, you got to come in and bring this guy with you, and we tell bring all the people you find right here on the show, because finding out how things happen in the city is interesting to me, and also calms people down when they realize we were able to be involved in this new dog park plan that they're putting together.
Oh, that's great.
Because we got the neighbors here on the show, and we sort of organized some of the voices that were speaking to the city and the way they spoke to the city.
Yeah.
Because you can call the city and get angry, but guess what? They know. Right. They know who you're calling from.
I'm sure they also have to wade through a lot of requests that maybe aren't valid.
Well, it's everybody thinks their street is the worst for speeding. I mean, I think so too. It's just a main character syndrome, which is understandable because we just see what we see every day outside our windows. But I'm sure the city gets wild. You got to fix this street. Everybody's speeding down here, and they go out, and it's maybe 2 drivers, outliers that do it all the time.
Well, that's the thing about your article, is it really puts it into a perspective for the average guy at home who is complaining about these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me that they have these metrics that you have to hit, and you can debate the metrics with them, but there are outlier cases that they see, if there's a lot of crashes, let's do something small just to increase visibility and stuff like that.
And
so,
did they give you any information about Second and Redondo after your article about that?
They did not want to talk about it. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, well,
really?
Well, who knows? Maybe he wasn't authorized to talk about it. So you got to get to those people that the other media does to people authorized to talk about this. So that is a wonderful result, I think, as finding out. How long did it take you to reach these? Because we've been trying to contact these people, and you got it right on the phone, I guess.
Yeah, Public Works they're getting better. Honestly, I think they realize the value of putting a knowledgeable expert on the phone with us, because I understand it from their side of things too, because it's a trust thing. They don't want us to write an article saying he's not doing anything, here's who you can email.
That's great.
So if he talks to us and we get the information out there accurately, that's all we're asking for. And I think that's what they want on their end too.
I love our relationship with y'all because it allows us to really get the information out there. So if you don't read the Long Beach Post, you should subscribe to it, because it comes to my email box every morning.
Yeah.
And I find out what the major stories are, including the one that John Donegan did about people taking copper wire out of the...
I love that one.
Dang, it's getting terrible out there.
Oh, I know.
Wow, and that's causing a lot of damage and a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, replacing that. A lot of money.
Yeah. I don't even know how they get to it, honestly.
Yeah.
I love the Long Beach Post, and I really love it that we have the people coming in here. They're right across the street.
We're going to build a tunnel.
Yeah. And you're on demand all the time. You're here, and it's great to have you.
I'm going to ask I'm going to ask you a question, a follow-up. You don't have to answer this because were you in the courtroom when our former associate, Ann Bergstadt, had her sentencing? Did you go to that?
Yes. I noticed that in the jail log and followed it all the way through.
That's fantastic.
Saw when she was arrested, talked to a lot of people that were scammed by her. She got a plea deal that she's on probation.
Yeah,
didn't have to serve any time other than what she spent in custody already. So more power to her. Hope she's on the up and up. But I know a lot of people were really impacted by.
Yeah, and stay
by
on
what
the
she
up
did.
and up.
Yeah,
really. And if you're listening to us out there, did she get to keep the pig?
I don't know where the pig is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question. Get on it.
When they originally brought her in and charged her, she told the judge that she has, I forget the number, but it was like a dozen animals that she has to get out and take care of. So,
including this like 200-pound pig.
The pig is bacon.
Oh my goodness! Well, Jacob, thank you so much for coming by, and the door is open anytime.
My pleasure.
And this time he lets us know when the article comes out, so we'll get right on it with you. I think it's great.
That's perfect.
Thank you so much.
You guys do great work too. Thanks for having
thank
me.
you. We enjoy it. It's fun to listen to too when we listen back. It's really great. It's Mornings on the Beach, and we're going to head to music.
We are?
I woke him up.
Okay, we got the Tedeschi Trucks Band and I Got You. Tedeschi Trucks Band and I Got You.
That's such a great song. I really love it.
Absolutely.
So much music we've got coming up your way over the next few weeks. So hang in there and stay with us. In the meantime, Mornings on the Beach is on the air. My name is Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
Melanie is on vacation in Joshua Tree. I should call her and see what she's up to.
Yeah.
She's probably deep in Oaxaca at the moment. Who knows? She's going on out in the desert out there. In any case, the other week I was perusing the internet news sites here in Long Beach and found a story that just struck me right away because it sort of speaks to the generosity of one person that can expand into the generosity of many. It also is something that I was interested in at one point. I told a story on the show a couple of weeks back of having made turkey soup after Thanksgiving and had the police stop me from handing it out because it might kill somebody. So when I read this story about Dr. Elissa Alvarez and the Long Beach Food Coalition, I said, we got to have her on the show. So here she is. Welcome to the show, Elissa.
Hi, thank you guys for having me.
We're so happy to have you. So you spend your mornings feeding people?
I do. I spend a lot of time feeding people. We cook in Bayshore's Community Church's kitchen on Thursdays and Fridays, and then we distribute to the community on Saturdays by delivering to homes as well as a distribution site at Bixby Park.
And nobody pays for this, right? This is a service that's offered to people that need it.
This is for people that need it. This is completely free. It doesn't matter who you are, what your income level is, what your, status is, nothing. All I ask from you is, do you need it delivered? Do you need it picked up? And how many people in your family?
As we're speaking, in the background, I see people working on food right behind you. So you're right at the Bayshore. Now, that's not where it started. Tell me how it started. How did you get into this? Like, I'm going to feed people.
Well, back in October when they were talking about cutting benefits and all the prices were rising, I kind of took it personally, I guess, and put out a Facebook post on one of the Long Beach food scene. And I just said, if anybody needs a meal, no shame, no guilt.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was me, yeah. And the first week, I made 300 meals and cleared out my cupboards, cleared out my fridge, begged neighbors, and we were able to cook for 300. And that just sort of pushed it forward. It was a catalyst to, this isn't a one-time thing. I guess we're going to turn this into something.
Wow.
And we haven't slowed down yet.
You must have a big kitchen.
No, I have a Long Beach kitchen.
No, I do too.
All apartment Long Beach kitchen.
Oh my God. So that makes it even more incredible about what you did. And I remember people responded to you during that Facebook post about saying they'd be willing to do the same thing. So, and how did it start to grow? Was it just everybody jumping in or asking when they could help?
Yeah, it's amazing. Since we could only cook in my kitchen to start, I did most of the cooking for the first few months. But anything I needed, I would say, hey, I need green peppers. And people would call me and say, I'm going to Costco. How many do you need?
Beautiful, beautiful,
Say,
beautiful.
I need eggs. And that's really, we're still at that point since we don't have any funding yet. We're really grassroots. If it isn't donated, we don't have it. And so we take whatever's donated, and from that, we're able to create our meals to distribute to the community.
There's something really simple and wonderful about just the community reaching out to help other people in the same community. There's something about that. And of course, there's all the food banks. Is there any desire to want to grow that big, or do you want to keep this local?
No, I think we don't have a choice but to grow that big.
Wow.
I think this is happening in spite of me, and I'm just the catalyst. I think this is going to be, I hope this is something the nation can embrace. I hope it's not just Long Beach. I hope we can spread this everywhere. So food banks are a whole different animal, though, because when they give out things, it's not necessarily meals they're giving out.
They're not made.
It's ingredients. And so if you don't happen to have the things at home to fill in the pieces, you then still just have ingredients. And thank goodness we have those ingredients. And the food banks help me as well. So there is an amazing, food banks are completely needed. And I don't want to discredit or take away from anything any of the other nonprofits are doing, because without all of us working together, it's just not going to work.
Danny mentioned at the top of the show his issues with serving his turkey soup to folks.
Yeah, really.
What sort of health department issues do you have to deal with in making this happen?
Well, I have the food safety management course, so that helps. We also have
I'm a graduate.
That's really helpful. And then we have general liability insurance for us as well, and we have a charitable permit, so we can function as a charitable food.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's great. So what's on the menu behind you? Because we might be right down.
We have so much food this week. This week we are making baked spaghetti. We are making green salads. We are making cabbage soup. We are making roasted vegetables. We might be making potato leek soup, because we apparently have a lot of those. And maybe some breadsticks today.
Oh, that's great. Obviously you're a professor of culinary science. What is your background? Is it in education, or?
I have a very weird background. I joke that every weird thing I've done in my life has led me to this moment. I grew up in a kitchen, sleeping on 100-pound pancake bags in the storeroom, and so by the age of 7, I pretty much knew how to do anything in a restaurant. And then I became a production manager for theater for a long time, and those are the skills that really get me through doing all of this. If I didn't know how to, run a theater, I wouldn't know how to run a crew at all. Right. And then I went rogue at some point and became a doctor of acupuncture. So my income is from being an acupuncturist here in Long Beach.
Well, obviously, because you're not paying us for this interview, you can promote it. Where is it? Tell people about it.
Oh, yeah, I'm an acupuncturist, and I specialize in chronic pain management, women's health, and a variety of other things. And I'm always looking for new patients.
That's fantastic. Do you have a website they can find you on?
Yeah, BLEU, bluesunflowerwellness.com.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Now, if somebody wants to, they're hearing this interview and thinks, you know what, I run a restaurant supply company, I want to help her out. Where can they find you?
We have a website, it's lbfcoalition.org. And on that sheet, we have, on that website, you can sign up for meals, you can sign up to donate, or you can sign up to volunteer. And our phone number is also listed there, and I man the phone, so anybody can call and get a hold of me directly.
So do you need people that cook, or you need people that can just serve or put things together? What do you need?
We need people who like to do dishes.
Oh boy, that's a tough get.
We need people who want to help pick up items from farmers markets that are donated weekly, help deliver food, help load my vehicle. Sometimes, Thursday morning, several of us meet up at the Bargain Liquor where we use refrigeration. This is truly a community project.
You outsource everything. That's wonderful.
Yes, Ravi at the liquor store lets us use a whole chunk of his walk-in.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And it's just amazing, the outpouring of love. And the church, they came through for us, so I don't have to cook in my apartment anymore. So people from all over the community, they just want to help. People want to help. And they need the opportunity is all.
Right. You're absolutely right. And it sparked me because we're talking on the radio station here at KLBP about the voices in our community. And obviously yours is one. But there's some subtext to this, interviews that we do. Because I always like to point out that people who find their passion, first of all, they never feel like they're working. When you're making a contribution to somebody else, it just does something. What does it do for you?
I feel like every moment of my life has been preparing me for this. And I'm not one to say, oh, there's a calling, but this is some weird calling.
Isn't it?
And I just have to honor it.
Yeah. And what you're saying is so important. If you're out there looking for how to make yourself happy, follow your heart. And sometimes your heart leads you someplace you don't think it's going to.
Absolutely.
But I understand completely. I followed my heart here to this little radio station after I retired because it needed help. And I just love to help working with other people, inspiring them. You do so much also inspiring people. At least that article was just a really wonderful tip of the hat to you all over there. But I want to thank them for doing what you do. And doing it so joyfully.
Absolutely.
It's really great.
It's so important for us. We have to approach this as service over self and no ego. Because when ego comes into play is when it's not from the heart. So I want every meal to be made with love. I want every meal to be delivered with joy. We're building community. We're not giving charity. This is not charity. This is just lifting our community to where it needs to be and redirecting food that's going to waste to where it should be.
That's awesome. Dr. Elissa Alvarez, thank you so much for being with us and coming on the show. And we'll put the word out on here because we're going to put some public service announcements on the air for you, looking for people who can help you out there. And that'll be heard all over Long Beach and all over the world because we have our app, our KLBP app. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Anytime
welcome.
you want to come play in the kitchen, you're more than welcome.
I love to cook. I would
Come
love
on
to.
down Thursday and Friday.
I do. I'm serious. You'll see me. I guarantee
Please, we'd love to have you.
Okay, great. I have to leave Boomer at home because it's a food service facility. But other than that, we'll see.
Yes.
All right,
no
thank
one
you.
will see you here.
Take care. That is so great.
Absolutely great.
Today is turning into a show about service.
Yeah.
You'll see what I mean coming up after this song.
All right, got a brand new song from the great Melissa Etheridge, and it is a rocker. It's been a while. She's been sort of laying back, but this is a great song called Being Alive. That's Melissa Etheridge, brand new music from her, Being Alive.
Mornings on the beach, your Saturday, Sunday infotainment. I'm Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
And Melanie's on vacation, but we filled her seat. We got a lot of folks and a lot of things to talk about right now. And we have a music legend because as I've been doing my research on my next guest, I found out, boy, his musicology goes all the way back to the 70s.
Wow.
And I wasn't aware of that. Welcome to the show, Ken Medema and Cherry Bush, who is here at the place where Ken is going to be performing. It's the First Congregational Church here in Long Beach. And Cherry manages the drop-in center there. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Fantastic. Let's start with Ken. So, Ken,
hey,
most people don't know that you are sight impaired. So
that's right.
And is that from birth?
That's from birth. And it hasn't stopped me having fun and making music.
I can tell.
Yeah.
So at first,
I've been making music for about 50 years now, and I I started, in the early 70s. I had worked as a music therapist, actually, with mentally challenged people, and then came into performing later. And so all the way from the 70s to now, I've been making music here and there and everywhere.
Wow.
Churches, colleges, working for nonprofits, doing fundraiser shows. I mean, it's just been a blast.
And all of your music is so inspirational. Was that by choice, or just how you wanted to spread your message?
Yeah, I really came to the conclusion. Well, first of all, as a therapist, my wanting to be sensitive to people with issues and problems, to social justice issues. I come from a religious community that's very much into social justice concerns, and so that became kind of a big deal for me. So a lot of my songs are about those issues, about hunger issues, about unhoused people, about justice in the country. And a lot of it's done in churches, but a lot of it's done also with other organizations who are, kind of on the same page. That's what excites me about this particular weekend, the show that we're doing Saturday. I reckon there'll be some church folks there. There'll be some interfaith folks there, but everybody needs to hear things about justice, about how we care for those who are left out. I just got through listening this morning, actually, to the speeches that were done at Jesse Jackson's funeral, and I thought, man, everything that Barack is saying, everything that Al Sharpton is saying, all those guys, this really resonates with where my music wants to live.
That's fantastic. I know I just discovered your videography, in a sense, going to YouTube, and I put your name in, and I was shocked at how many performance pieces are there over the years.
Yeah.
When I first looked at the first one, I thought, oh, he's only about 27. Then I realized that's from 1976. So you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out
Now,
there.
how did you get hooked up with the Drop-In Center of the First Congregational Church?
Okay, well, this is an interesting story. Robert Stapp, who is a dear friend of mine, and was a fellow musician at a church in San Francisco, is now a part of the First Congregational Church. And he and his husband Harold have always said, "Oh, we want you for a concert down here. We want to do something down here." We have been through some interesting experiences together. We've made music together. We've gone to jail protesting nuclear weapons together.
Oh, that's fun.
All kinds of interesting things.
Wow.
And so finally, we got in touch, and Robert and Harold started making the plans. And Cherry said, "Oh, let's do it." And so there was all this cohesion and connection that we've been wanting for a long time now,
right.
and finally, it's coming to be.
Robert's on the phone call with us as well. Robert, do you want to say anything to that?
I'm so glad that we're able to have Ken come to sing with us, and he's a champion of human rights and social justice, and this really is in keeping with what First Church stands for, and also the Drop-In Center and our work with the homeless and the unhoused.
Well, I'll tell you that social justice definitely speaks to my Jesuit-trained heart. I was a Jesuit seminarian way back in the 70s as well. So this theme of social justice is perfectly appropriate for the times that we're in at the moment, for sure. And not only that, but just bringing up that into people's awareness. We have this as a fundraiser for the Drop-In Center, and that's why we invited Cherry Bush, the executive director there. Tell us about the Drop-In Center, Cherry.
Well, first of all, I'm so excited. Robert is being very kind about his kindness. Robert and Harold helped us through the pandemic. I mean, I tell you, he's just being really shy about it. The drop-in center is just short for what we call the homeless drop-in center. It's actually Urban Community Outreach Homeless Drop-in Center, and it's just as it sounds. We have a Sunday where the unhoused come get hot meals, get to come in and sit in and, oh boy, get into sports, spend time with their community. We have a doctor that volunteers once a month, a nurse that volunteers once a month. And it's just what I believe in is doing the right thing for people that aren't as comfortable as we think we are, because everybody can end up unhoused. So I'm very excited. When Robert came up and spoke to me about it, it was just an automatic yes. But not only Robert, but the pastor, they've just been so supportive towards our program. And I mean, just the one time I met Ken, it's no surprise that him and Robert have been friends for so long.
I'm telling you, tonight at the concert, what can people expect? I mean, a full concert? Will there be a program as well?
Actually, it's a full concert. And one of the things we'll do is we'll ask people who have been connected with the drop-in center, either guests or hosts. We'll ask them to tell stories about their connection with the drop-in center, and then yours truly will create songs on the spot. A song might start like this. Well, Danny was a Jesuit a long, long time ago. And now Danny's changed his tune and is talking on the radio. Well, he's talking on the radio.
Well, listen, if that doesn't get you to go to the concert, get some details for us. It's going to be happening where, Cherry?
It's going to be in downtown Long Beach at 241 Cedar. In Long Beach. You can't miss us. It's a very large, very well-known church right on the corner of 3rd and Cedar.
Beautiful church.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And where can they go if they want more information about it? Is there a website?
Yes, they can go on to ucodic.com, .org, or they can also go on the church's website. Like I said, the church has done tremendous promotions for this program, and they're doing it for us, period.
And you're right, because every time they have an event there at the First Congregational Church, we get a press release, and that's how we found you guys. So thank you so much, all of you, Ken, Robert, Cherry, to come on the show, and good luck tonight at the concert. If you're listening on Sunday, well, you're going to have to just you're out of luck.
However, they can still go to the website and make a contribution.
Boom,
that's right. Bingo.
Perfect. All right.
There you go.
And on that, thank you guys so much for coming, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday night.
Thank you for having me.
Danny.
Normally we go to a song Mike picked, but this time I got on Ken's YouTube page, like I said, and I found a great song. And I love choirs in any version. So here you have Ken Medema and the UCSF Sanctuary Choir with Lord, Listen to My Children Praying. That was our guest, Ken Medema, right here with the UCSF Sanctuary Choir. And you know what? It's perfect time to promote one of the new shows on KLVP, Bless the Lord with Me.
Oh, great show.
Christian, it does. It manages, picks me up. So it's on Sunday mornings at 7 a.m., but it replays on Tuesday, right when I go to the gym. So it's great music. It pumps me up. It just gets going, and it's so positive. I love it.
Absolutely. And even though don't let the fact that it's a religious show scare you, because as a heathen myself, I enjoyed the music on the show.
I do too. I've added several songs to my playlist from there. I love it. This is Oscar weekend. How ready are you? Yeah. Did you see a lot of the films?
I didn't see too many.
The only one I haven't seen as of this recording date, which I'm going to have to rush home and watch, Sinners, because I haven't seen that yet. And only because I'm not a zombie fan, but people told me, no, forget it. It's a great movie. So we'll see. Another, what is it, Something at a Time with Sean Penn and
Haven't seen that.
Good movie.
Of course, I always tune in and then I realize, I've seen a couple of these.
Yeah.
But
I've seen most of the docs, so I'm waiting to see what the crowd says. But and there's also the Academy Awards party that's happening over at the Art Theater. If you haven't yet made plans,
oh yeah,
that's also really good to happen. But that's this weekend, and I'm not feeling that connected anymore. When I lived in Hollywood, you just couldn't help but be connected.
Well, I don't know if I've told this story, but I worked at ABC for years as a page, and I worked on probably 8 or 9 Academy Awards as a page. Then I moved over to radio, and I covered it as a radio engineer for another 8 or 9 years. And I got to tell you, by the end of that long period, I was done with the Oscars. I was done.
I bet.
Put a fork in me, I would be done.
Well, we started, I think it was good nerd. It was way back when, pre-2007, when I was doing a podcast and the Homecast show. And we decided to do one of our shows from the Academy Awards across the street from the place that had like all the computers in it. Remember when you had to go out and use a computer if you didn't have one at home? Well, this is one of those cafes across the street from the theater on Highland Avenue.
Okay.
And we watched all of the hoopla, and we had a wireless mic, and Scott Forrest, at the time one of our hosts, went into the crowd with his wireless mic.
Wow.
And he narrated the fact that he'd gotten in a back gate at the Renaissance Hotel next door and was now on his way into the theater. And live on our podcast, you could hear him be accosted by the security guards and thrown out en masse.
The security is serious,
It was serious.
At all the Oscar shows. And it's probably going to be worse this year with this threat from Iran that they're going to, what would be a better target than...
Well, I'll tell you, if they're programming those drones, could we give them the address to Mar-a-Lago? Just saying. And it's a joke, by the way.
It's a joke, yes. It's a good joke.
Just in case they're monitoring us somewhere.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
This week, oh my God, this week. Yeah, and for those of you who maybe been asleep under a rock, we're at war. I don't know what they're telling you, but we're at war. When you fire bombs at people and they drop on people, you're at war. And if you're the country that's doing that, well,
yeah.
I don't know. We've gone to the looking glass a long time ago. And the thing that worries me is that we're going to do this for another 2 years.
Well,
I don't know. But for those of you who think that winning the lottery is really only for people that really, really deserve it, you need to hear about this story. And this comes to us from our friend X-Ray, who sent it into the show, about a man who won $167 million Powerball jackpot. Right?
All right.
But it happened to him after he pleaded guilty on charges that he accosted and assaulted a police officer in Florida. This happened before he won the lottery. So if you think only good people win,
no.
No. And that, by the way, that's not the only charge he was fighting in court.
Boy.
Yeah, he actually fought another one. He was arrested previously to that for impersonating a person in a legal process. So maybe he pretended to be serving a restraining order on somebody and really wasn't an officer of the court.
Oh, boy.
But, so that's so wild. But I'm thinking not only the good guys always win. Sometimes the bad guys win too.
And a bad guy like that is only going to be enabled to probably do more bad things, you would think.
Yeah. So we're coming up to the end. Before we go, there's so much in the works here at KLBP that we got to make sure we let you know about.
Wow.
One of the first things that are coming up are the first Fridays at Bixby Knolls. We're going to be out there again April 3rd, the first Friday of the month.
Cool.
And that's on Atlantic. April 11th is the next Art and Design Walk. And this time we have some good plans coming up for some music and some spoken word stuff out there on the promenade again between ISM and Le Ordinaire. I always want to call it Le Ordinaire. It's The Ordinary.
Yeah.
I like the French pronunciation a lot better. That's Saturday, April 11th. That's coming up, and we want to see you out there. And then, of course, we're making our plans to be everywhere we can be this summer.
Right.
We've got something in the works, people, that are going to be so cool about a documentary screening we'd like to do. Can't give you the works yet because we have still negotiating.
Hopefully by next week.
Yeah, we'll have that information. That's coming up. We're going to be at Gay Pride. We're going to be somewhere out and about on Grand Prix weekend. We want a presence out there. We want to see you out there. So things are really bubbling around here.
Lots going on.
And, we forget to tell people that if you want to be involved with us, all you have to do is be in touch with us. And the best way to do that is info@klbp.org. And it'll come right to myself and a couple other folks, and we'll get back to you and include you in maybe you want to volunteer or help us out, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
Start your own show. All of that's possible here.
It's all possible.
Yeah. So that's coming up. And also coming up in June is Make Music Long Beach. Every year, this year it's on Sunday, June 21st. However, if you are a musician of any ilk, whether you play on bottles or you play steel drums or you tear paper and make a concert with it, that actually happened one year during Make Music Day. It's an international day of music that really represents all the independent artists that are out there, not the ones that are getting the concerts at the big forums. We're talking about the people that make music at home. If you have a business or a garage or a church that you want to open up to musicians on that day, all the signups are going to start April 1st. And we're going to have David Sauer from Make Music Long Beach in here next week to tell you all about that coming on up.
Cool.
So make your plans. It's all going to be about music, and it's all going to be about KLBP, the summer of KLBP. We have to come up with a slogan for it. The summer of love's already taken.
Yeah.
So what do we want to come? The summer of lust.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's Mornings on the Beach. We got to sign off for another day, but thank you for I'm going to thank everybody who joined on the show today.
Absolutely.
It always develops a theme, sometimes mid-show. We got into social justice and music, and we always love that. So thank you also to Jacob Sisneros for being here, and Dr. Elissa Alvarez as well. I think that's it. What we got coming up this week on LA Radio Sessions?
Well, today, if you're listening on Saturday, you can hear LA Radio Sessions at 12 noon.
That's right.
And it's John Tyler Wiley, and we talk about his participation in the rock boat that I was on a couple months ago. And it's a lot of fun. It's about music collaboration, and John is the collaborator. He plays with everybody on the boat. And it's a great interview, and he's a great guy. And
it's a great show.
Yeah,
I gotta say, it really is.
And just a quick note: next week on the LA Radio Sessions will be the return of Bill Ward.
Oh, no kidding! All right, excellent. That's all coming up. In the meantime, enjoy your day and get out in this wonderful summer weather. And it's not even the end of spring yet. So guess what? We're in for a hot one.
Yeah,
but. It's a good thing that you're with us here at 99.1, and thank you very much. See you next weekend. What do we got going out?
Def Leppard and Rejoice.